Good afternoon, Jan.
Good afternoon, Michael. Nice to see each other back.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I was out sick yesterday or last week, and yeah, I think you had something else to do. So,
But
so
I had
just
I had a training which they announced me just after the previous session, and it was on Thursday. I
hmm
couldn't move it.
yep, yep.
It was it was a hell of a week in the world of AI.
Oh my goodness, yeah, yeah.
Somebody had a little bit too much money and bought Cursor.
Uh huh.
That the government decided that we are not allowed to have access anymore to some models.
Yeah,
First,
yeah.
I
That's
was not
crazy.
allowed anymore, and now you also.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, how can they? Yeah, how can they tell yeah, who's a U.S. citizen just by your login? Yeah, they're gonna start collecting, your passport or social security number.
Probably.
Uh, if so, I would not volunteer it. So I would just stick with the accessible models rather than uh, rather than
Yeah,
giving up that information.
but it's sad because apparently it's quite something capable.
hmm
Now, look, if that model is not coming true, then another one will.
Yeah, yeah, and
I mean,
I am really excited about access to that model in particular. If they will um, if they will allow us to use it to look for security vulnerabilities in our own code.
mm,
But that might be actually exactly one of the guardrails that they're putting in place because they don't want us to look for vulnerabilities in somebody else's code. And that's
yeah,
the whole point of Project Glasswing is let's do this in a clean, isolated environment, and now we can verify the code that's coming in. We can verify the people who have access to this information, and we can run it on our own isolated infrastructure, as opposed to here you go ahead and prompt it whatever you want and feed it whatever you want.
yeah, but it's quite sad for Anthropics, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I suspect it's a temporary setback myself.
Mm,
That from reading their side of the announcements, they they do have strong guardrails in place. They were aware of
mm,
the uh, the the jailbreak or the workaround,
mm,
and uh, and found it of limited value to the attacker. Um, and so that's telling me that if they can find the right people to talk to, get the right information, and actually have a dialogue with the government, they can um, you know, they can go through a process to make sure that they've got the right guardrails in place
mm,
to satisfy the government, and then also to satisfy um, their own internal checks. In you know, in my experience watching how Anthropic works, looking uh, at their model cards and looking at their internal processes and having a constitution um, by which they constrain their models. Um, it seems that they are self-governing better than a um, better than the government is governing them.
mm.
So yeah, I think that uh, I think as long as they can open that dialogue, they'd be able to get that working.
It's probably just a kind of precautionary reaction from the government.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of panic. Say, oh, that's
Yeah,
dangerous. Let's stop it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a world where things are going so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm sure if it's not that model that get out from Anthropic, then somebody else will make a model that it's even more powerful. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely an arms race.
yeah,
Um,
it
yeah,
goes so fast.
I've found myself using GPT 5.5 for some tasks, and Opus 4.8 for for other tasks, um, and I can observe the difference between the two. It just so happens that on Jinaga, highly mathematical reasoning type of uh, tasks, Opus 4.8 appears to edge out, but for um, for the it's hard to describe the other side of that. um,
Mm.
excuse me, but on my client work, I'm finding that GPT-5.5 does a really good job of, I guess business requirements. I don't know, reasoning through the way that, because we're working on a billing system, so the way that that a CFO would describe their pricing schedules, that kind of language, that kind of thought, it does really well with. So, um, yeah, but honestly, the differences are they are so close. They're both so good at bringing a whole bunch of information in and reasoning with it and following instructions, and coming up with a valuable resolution. Sometimes maybe even following instructions a little bit too well. Um, yeah, in the past, I've had a TDD, um, yeah, set of agents and a workflow that orchestrates them to do the red green refactor cycle. And in the past, I've given the testing agent the explicit instructions to write one failing test, and it used to sometimes say, well, these three tests are related. I'll write all three at the same time. And I allowed it because when I was more strict and I actually forced it to do one test at a time, it just took a long time and burned a lot of tokens, and didn't really learn anything between tests, which is the whole point of one test at a time. You'd learn something, you'd roll it into the next test. Um, but yeah, around Opus 4.7, around that time frame, the instruction following got really strict, and so uh, even without the extra all caps and no, you must run one test at a time, just that line, right? One test at a time. Um, it would literally just write one test at a time. It's like, oh goodness. Ran my demo and it's like, this is taking a long time. So I've relaxed those instructions and I said, oh, write a suite of tests, write a batch of tests. Um, and yeah, so it works pretty well. And in fact, I gave the demo, that TDD demo. It's part of how to build a software factory. I did that yesterday. So that is going to be on the Improving YouTube channel.
Okay. On improving.
Mm-hmm.
Improving. Do you have a YouTube channel now?
Yes, yeah. So
I
yeah, every
was not aware of it, or I forgot about it.
yeah. Yeah, every week we've done an Improving Talks presentation. So so I've done 2 or 3 of them over the last couple of years, and lots of other talented folks have done those talks as well. We are, and we've added some additional shows to that channel. So now there's a podcast with Dave O'Hara. He's interviewing individuals at Improving, kind of learning their story, learning how how they've how they've built trust with the clients, how they've benefited and helped to grow community. So that's a really good show down on there too. So now there's a whole lot of content on the Improving channel.
The problem is, if you type in improving in YouTube, you have a lot of content.
Yeah.
If you type in improving Michael Perry, then you still have a lot of content. But I don't see the channel, the improving channel.
Yeah, let's see. YouTube.com. And then there's I think it is /channel in order to get to a channel, and then I'll do improving. And nope, that wasn't it. I wonder if it is still under improving enterprises, because that was our old name. Yeah, so youtube.com/@improving enterprises.
Slash at bring. Yes, got it.
Yeah, so in the videos, the most recent one is 9 days ago, so mine from yesterday will appear there in another couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's quite a lot of videos already about AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our next improving talks is going to be Devlin Lyles. He is he's really searching the forefront of the application of intelligent systems to building and running businesses. So yeah, you'll see some of Devlin's content on there as well. Anything from Devlin, watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there is so much content on AI.
Mm-hmm.
But so much of it is not what I'm looking for. And left and right, there is some very good content, but you have to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen kind of a pattern of hey, here's this one weird trick, and how you can how can you get a model to do this thing, and then what I'm seeing come out of our office of CCO, that's our Chief Consulting Officer, that's Devlin. The thought leadership that I'm seeing come out of that organization is really about how to start with the basics, how to gradually build trust. Like some of the earlier things that that he talked about were as an organization trying to adopt AI. It's like, hey, here's this brand new tool, a lot of hype. Okay, get everybody a license and just go. And he's like, no, think about what is the one thing that if you move the needle just a little bit is going to make all the difference in the world. So there's one lever that you can push in your business, and everyone's going to be different. But if we were to improve our reach, if we were to close more sales, if we were to improve our engineering practices, whatever that lever is, now focus your AI effort on just that, because we have found that the intelligent and focused application of AI on a specific problem can can scale the velocity of particular tasks. So it doesn't take away jobs, but it compresses the tasks within the job, so that you can spend more of the human energy on the things that are all about knowing what good looks like, defining what the goal should be, and then exploring and running experiments and doing the grunt work. Those are the things that you can define very targeted agents to do. And so just doing that that gives organizations a head start. And now we're talking about a maturity model of how can you map that those milestones toward building the the kind of intelligence-oriented organization that that's really going to help you to serve your customers well. So what are you doing today? What what excuse me, what practices can get you to the next step, but then more importantly, what does it look like 3 or 4 steps down the road that you should start thinking about and you should start to building toward. So using a tool today in order to make your engineering team faster at writing code or deploying infrastructure. Yeah, that's that's a good thing for today, but that repeated is not going to unlock what you ultimately want to achieve. Using AI to collaborate so that everybody is participating in the same workflows along with the agents, and so the very next step is let's make sure that our product team is authoring stories in such a way that the tools that the engineers are using can best consume them, and you don't have that extra translation layer. So right now I'm doing that translation myself. I take a user story that that product wrote, and I say, okay, well, now let's work with the model and really steelman this user story. Let's think through all the scenarios. Let's see how it integrates. Let's shore up the acceptance criteria. Find find any ambiguities. I'll try to resolve the ambiguities myself, and then if I can't, then I'll escalate to product. But what if that step that I'm going through on the engineering side was now something that was built into our collaboration, and the model and the agent that product was using understood what was necessary on the engineering side. Excuse me. So that's just now the next step.
Okay. I'm gonna have a look at the videos of Devlin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the people I also find quite interesting on the technical side is the videos from IBM on YouTube. It's especially Martin Keen.
Martin
Keen.
Yeah.
Keen.
All right. I am going to subscribe right now.
He's an inventor at
Chances are when you've interacted
IBM.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of videos. Yeah, they work.
Chances are when you've interacted with a chat
Ways to work with it. Prompt engineering versus context engineering.
Yeah.
An MCP, how does it work? Reg versus fine-tuning.
Chances are when you've interacted with
Quite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's another gentleman by the name of Nate B. Jones. He's also talking about more of the strategic side. He sometimes gets into the tactical, but it's always in service of the strategic. Yeah, and he's I think got some really reasoned opinions, but he is very opinionated. I just happen to agree with about 70-80% of his opinion.
Okay.
Which is a good record for me.
I think I got him here. AI News and Strategy Daily.
Yeah.
B. Jones. Okay. I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. Sometimes he uses those those big words that there's certain language that when you hear somebody using it, you're like, I'm not sure if you're actually saying something or if you're just putting big words together. But so yeah, he'll use that language, but then tie it back to something that I understand. So okay, I think you actually might know what you're talking about. So yeah, it's mostly those strategic terms about this is what an organization is going to try to accomplish, and then and then you do a little bit of research and realize, oh, those are real words. People actually do think that way, and it's got some value.
Yeah. Now the fact that Cursor has been bought by SpaceX,
Mm-hmm.
it looks, on one hand, it's an enormous opportunity because they have more money now. They can invest. They can become even better.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, perhaps because it was just a small team of passionate and competent people, perhaps now that they say, okay, we have been bought, we go and do something else.
Yeah.
It would be sad to see Cursor, instead of going up, going down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a possibility. When I look at Anthropic and the effort that they put into Cloud Cowork, so these harnesses that they build around the models. On the one hand, you you might expect that somebody who's building the model might need to create the harness in order to just kind of understand the model better, or to demonstrate what it's capable of. So there's there's the the incentive to do this as a proof of concept. But then when I take a look at the care that they are putting into the experiments that they're running with Claude Code in particular, one example, when I created a skill, and then Claude Code volunteered to create an eval framework for me around that skill, and I just said yes, and took about half an hour for it to put this together, but it was fascinating, and I happened to have the video running. This was for an improving course, so we were doing an improving U course. So I was recording the whole thing, and it was building this evaluation framework, and we were looking at it in real time. But the fact that they experimented with putting that into Cloud Code and then made that available, that's telling me that it's a bit more than a proof of concept to them. It truly is a team that's really dedicated to making these tools accessible and useful by developers, and then with Cowork by non-developers. Cowork is the closest I've seen to a really useful non-developer harness around AI. So if there was that news a few weeks back about the Claude Code source code leaking, and so people looked at it, learned a lot from it, but that didn't destroy the quality, the value of the Claude Code team. Somebody could fork that code and keep running it, but then it would immediately fall behind because you need the team to continue to maintain it and to improve it. So I think the same thing with Cursor. I think we've got they're a group of people who are really interested in making these tools as powerful as they could be for developers. And so they started on their harness before Cloud Code, and they've been innovating, maybe not as fast as the Cloud Code team, but they've come up with they came up with the rules mechanism before Anthropic defined skills, and then saw that skills was an improvement and started to switch over, but then continued to integrate it with the advancements that they've been working on. So like the agent window, separate from the from the code window, trying to encourage people to take a bit of a step back and think of themselves as orchestrating a set of agents rather than prompting code changes. So yeah, that was on the one hand you could say, well, that Claude Code is only that. It doesn't show you it shows you the code, but the code just kind of scrolls by while it's changing it. But yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of value from the team that is that is tasked with and seems very passionate about making the product as good as it can be.
Something which was something completely different, which was playing in my mind, but I still didn't test it out. I was wondering that at doc feature in Cursor, that is indexing content that you add yourself. But how is it indexing? Is there not a vector database behind it? And if not, why not?
Yeah.
But what I want to do is just ask it at Cursor itself. So let's see what it says.
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen while you're doing that?
Yeah, we can do that. This is just. Wait, let me make it smaller. This one. How do I share like this? And then which one is it? This one. Okay. Is that visible, or do I have to make it more?
Yep.
I put it like that.
Yeah, that's readable.
Yeah. Look, feature. How does it index? Documents. Does it use the vector database?
Yeah.
Let's see what it says. Yeah. Composer is from Cursor, so they will know best.
Yeah, and honestly, yeah, the this is a question about the harness, and no matter what model you're using, you've given it pretty much the same harness. Maybe the prompts are different, but yeah, so it's got access to all of the information that it can see in the harness, and it's going to be
it has access to all that information?
Yeah. Actually, there is a really cool feature in Cursor that I discovered. Yeah, so we can probably go ahead and take a look at it right now. So you see the wheel that shows you the context. It's just got a little sliver on it right now, but it's right next to the stop button. On the bottom.
Here.
Yeah. Go ahead and click on that, and then it's showing you what is currently in the context window. You can click on View Report at the top, and it will actually break it down for you. Yeah, so take a look at that report. So yeah, here's kind of the percentage, how it's broken into these different areas. But then if you scroll down, it actually shows you specifically what is in there. So yeah, here's the system prompt. Here's all the tools that it has available. Yeah, here it's giving you descriptions of all the skills. So yeah, you can expand any of those, and you'll see the actual text, the actual tokens that are sent to the model.
Okay, that is. So we don't have to ask it anymore which text we're using.
Yeah.
Do you see my video being pixelated?
Um, no, your video's pretty small, but just because
Yeah.
we're looking at the screen. Um,
Because before it was very sharp, like your image, and now it is. I don't know. Okay, never mind. But
yeah.
that's very
So
interesting.
this is fascinating. This is a peek behind the covers.
Yeah.
And I just happened to find this feature accidentally. Yeah. So why would why would the engineering team decide to put this in? It's to me, this says we want you to be as effective as you possibly can, and to control what goes into the context. So that's not just controlling the token count. You could get that by just looking at the wheel fill up, but that's also to make sure that the right information is in the context and the wrong information stays out.
Yeah, because one of the things quite often I'm asking, what do you see? What do you don't see? And I was even wondering. In the end, you have a lot of plans, which I like to save in the workspace.
Mm-hmm.
But is AI having that all the time in its context? And now that is the answer to that question.
Yeah.
It's much easier to.
Yeah. If you drill through that skills section, you'll see the definition of each of the skills, but not the actual skill itself, because that wasn't useful enough to bring into context. So you can see an approximate token count. Like this right tool takes approximately 71 tokens in order to describe what the right tool does.
For example, here there is a cursor skills. Cursor indexing, done indexing. Okay. So short answer. Crawls document sites, chunks them, embed them. Vector style indexing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do know that Cursor is built on a SQLite database. I don't know if it's got a separate vector database. But some databases, like Postgres definitely, have added vector indexes. So you can use them as a vector database. So maybe SQLite has vector index support. And maybe they're just doing it that way. But I was watching as it was trying to answer, and it it was at first off on the track where it thought that maybe the docs feature was part of this repository, and it's like, no, I'm searching for something that does that, and this doesn't seem to be a fit. Very likely, yes. Yeah.
But so that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
because that means that by running our own vector database, there is little more that we can add to it than having that index for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and given what it can see from that report, that's the API surface area. That is, these are the set of tools that I have. It wouldn't be able to see how that tool is implemented. So, there's the set of tools that are just available, like to write documents, read documents. So it's got the parameters and what it does, but there might be a vector database behind it.
Yeah. Yes, SQLite can do vector search via SQLite vector.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a plugin that does vector indexing. Yeah, so I think it might be when you talk about the @doc feature, it's trying to invoke it. It's like, oh, whenever you see an yeah, this is the path to
Yeah.
something in in this repository. So I think it's jumping straight past that and trying to use it, as opposed to now just reasoning about what is
If I
this
would
feature we're talking about.
put it in between quotes, oh, no, it's not apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. Now there is a built-in tool that does grep. That's the one that you see used very often. So if you scroll up, I believe it's up a little bit higher in the report, not in the chat, but in that report.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So there, yeah. One of the first things, first sections is the set of tools. Yeah, here's the tool definitions. So
yeah, dreadful.
yeah, grep.
Mhm.
That so if it is looking for a specific set of text, then it can search your code base. But of course, that's not a vector search. That's just regular expression. But yeah, semantic search is probably where the vectors are used.
Yeah, if we click on that, nothing more.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Yeah, the harness just exposes that literal text to the model, and then when it asks, "What do you want to do?" It operates in turns, so it sends all of this context to the LLM. So Composer 2.5 in this case just gets all of this text, and then this is my turn. Now, what's your turn? And then it says, oh, given all of this, I want to run the grep tool with these parameters, and it just returns that. And it says, okay, and then the harness says, okay, let me make that call for you, and it gets back all the results, and then all of this context again plus those results. So okay, now what's your next turn?
Okay.
And
If
that's why
we
cache
look
tokens
here,
are so important, by the way.
does @docs use SQLite Vec? No. Does it doc use vector search? Yes. So, and that's probably why we have here the semantic search.
Mm.
What vector backend? Almost certainly turbo prefer. See it in the
Oh,
tools here, but same family as codebase. Only locally for chat state, not for doc embeddings. Okay. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that before too long, our job is going to be so right now, our job is still delivering software, but it's shifting to creating the software factories, as I talked about in my talk yesterday. But I think the next shift is we're going to be building harnesses. So we will be building this that you see here.
Okay. Why? Because
Yeah.
to adapt AI to specific environments for customers.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, this harness was constructed for a developer, and so a software factory is a way for us to use this harness to make sure that that we get the right information into context in order to produce software. But now an organization wants to use agents for customer support. So they can use an off-the-shelf harness, something like Microsoft Office 365, Copilot, and and then they can build a set of agents and kind of a customer service factory in that harness. But I think that we will start to bump up against the edges of this general purpose harness that Microsoft built for for all of their customers, and we're trying to do this one specific thing. You can start by let's create some MCPs. Let's create some agents. Let's make sure that the right things get into context. But then at some point, how that harness interacts with other harnesses within your organization. That's really where I think it's going to push us into. In some cases, we need to be developing the harness.
Because that's a totally different approach than what we are doing today.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I think what we're doing today is helping us to learn what's going to work well. But yeah, the Cursor team has been learning that for a long time, and they've got this harness working the way that they need it to for their customer base. Yeah. So let me share real quick, and I can show you the Factual MCP. I want to take a look at that in this form. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be telling. So here is the, okay. So this is Cursor as it was left at the very end of my talk. So we're still inside of the Factual or the factory engineering demo. But let's just start a brand new one. Oops, didn't mean to close all. I meant to close the others. Okay, so in here I have installed an MCP called Factual. We looked a little bit at doing that install and authenticating. So got it authenticating, and now it's providing all of these tools. So I'll say use the Factual MCP to list the applications that I have created. So one of the first things that's new about this one is that it's got a layer of workspaces and applications, whereas the proof of concept that we walked through a few weeks back was just within an application. Let's just load everything into a scratchpad and then see if we can do some operations on the application. So yeah, I've got a couple in here that were just for testing. So it used one of these tools. Like here's our create applications, list applications. That tool right there. It used that tool in order to find it. In fact, we can look in here and see exactly how it used it. So actually, it just called list applications. I don't think there are any parameters at all. And then it got back this information. So just with that, I am kind of curious what this looks like. Let's see. It might not be working for me. Okay. Well.
It works only for non-Americans.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry.
Okay, but now that I've got this, I can say I want to create an application to keep track of the historical modeling live stream episodes on YouTube. So giving it just a little bit of information about the domain. I've noticed that right now it is extremely eager to just go forth, make a lot of assumptions, and write a model. I'm going to have to rein it in a little bit. But yeah, okay, I had to list applications again. Now it's opening an application. Let's see. So, I wonder why it's trying to open that one. I need it to create a new application. So I can see in here that it's reading some of the resources. If we look here inside of this, we see a whole bunch of tools. I remember seeing some resources listed as well. But yeah, the resources give it instructions about how to use these tools in order to compose an application. So, so like here is defining a fact. So, okay, now it gives us some of the parameters. So, excuse me. It defined a fact called historical modeling.livestream episode. And then this is the fact definition. So we can see a title, we can see YouTube video link, perhaps, is what it's trying to do.
If you make the column larger, you will see everything. I think. No?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, video ID. So it's setting up the full model. What I want to do is to tell it to ask me for some sample data and walk through an example, and then only build the facts for that example, so that we've got something that's grounded. Because otherwise it goes off and says, okay, we've got a catalog administrator. Live stream episode has these properties. I can get all the episodes in the catalog. Yeah, so now I'm kind of curious. Let's see if we can reproduce some of the success that you had there. So I'm going to look up youtube.com/@historicalmodeling, I believe is the link. Yep. Okay, so go to that link and get a list of live stream episodes. Record each one as a fact. Excuse me. So now it is, it should actually be searching the web. Maybe it figures out how to hit the API. Oh, it's using YTDLP, huh? Oh, YTDLP unavailable on this machine.
It doesn't install automatically.
Yeah, well, it fetched the page. Okay. Well, if it, yeah, it is installing YTDLP. Okay. So, let me squish this up a little bit. Couldn't see exactly what I was typing on the stream because our faces are in the way. Oh, actually, I can switch these over to the left side. No, that's not quite working. Okay. Okay, but yeah, the MCP is connected to an actual replicator now. While it's working, I will show a little bit of what's happening behind the scenes. So here is the Docker Compose stack that I brought up. You can see that there is a pair of actual Jinaga replicators. So Factual MCP, the control replicator. So that's what's keeping track of my list of applications, my workspaces, uh, fact definitions, all that thing, all that kind of stuff. And then the actual tenant replicator, that's keeping track of the raw data of the application. Um, okay, found 223 streams. Excellent. So if I go to Docker, then in here I've got my Factual MCP, and so we can see here is my tenant replicator. So if I take a look at the just the raw log stream on this, we should see, yeah, it's doing a whole bunch of health checks right now, but we should see a whole bunch of facts scroll through as it's as it's running all this. So yeah, fetched 25 of the streams. So I wonder if it's going to fetch all of the pages before it starts creating facts. Let's see if we can force that into the background, see if it's going, if that yeah, so now we're trying to execute an action in Factual, and an action is basically a really small function that creates a bunch of facts. So think of an action as something that would happen in response to a button click in an application.
Okay.
And so here it's executing an action in order to create some facts. So it's creating a live stream episode. Yeah, I was expecting to see a whole bunch of stuff scroll through. We're still just getting the health pings. Yeah, it could be that that I've turned down the logging in order to save tokens here when it's trying to look at things. Okay, well, I'm wondering if there's some way that I can demonstrate that it's saving it, but yeah, basically it saves all of that information to a replicator, so that then when you start this from another application, or another harness, or even another machine, right now it's a Docker Compose stack on this machine, but once it's in the cloud, you can go to another machine and you'll have access to all of those facts. So yeah, this will allow people to create applications on the fly and then start filling them with data.
There were some other comments as well on that application he created. I think if you scroll back, give 3 possibilities now. Where you said to start, to test the application, to start it.
Not sure what you're...
It was... even go back. Yeah, there. So Bootstrap, okay. Record and query episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The third one, can we not use that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would show us the episodes that are in the catalog. So right now we're filling that catalog.
Yeah. So using that, we can generate a list of what is saved in the replicator.
Yes. And so yeah, in order to demonstrate that it's truly saved, we can start a new session and say, hey, then it would only demonstrate that it's in the MCP. But to truly demonstrate it, you could shut everything down and launch it again and say, yes, it's truly saved. But the fetch is definitely taking some time. Probably YTDLP is being careful about rate limiting. And this, I don't know if it's trying to create multiple facts, or if it's somehow stuck on this one. So record live stream episode. The arguments are what catalog. In fact, I'll go ahead and copy this so we can see this a little bit better. Yep, not there. Come over here. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's this episode right here. So there's our video ID. Okay. So it looks like this one call to the action record live stream episode was really just there to capture this one fact. So yeah, that fact was created, live stream episode. So I don't know why why it stopped with that one. It looks like it's waiting for this shell to finish, and this shell is almost done with the last batch. So it'll probably get finished right about the same time that the timer expires. So yeah, it was running at a pretty regular pace, so it was able to estimate that. Say, oh, almost done. Oh yeah, it was waiting for a specific string to show up. Wrote some number episodes in shell. So wrote 223 episodes should show up right here when it's done, and then it'll say, oh, okay, it's actually done. Oh, excuse me. And it knows to look for that string because it just wrote the Python that logs all those strings. Okay. Test factual MCP for create fact. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it's having trouble with the factual MCP doing something. This will be interesting to see what issues it ran into. Okay, yeah, now it's recording them all in a background task. So that's actually a sub-agent that's running in the background, just calling that tool.
So it's starting all over, or what is it doing now?
No, it's got 221 more episodes to record, so it looks like it called it twice, and figured out whatever the problem was. I'm going to have to ask what the problem was, but now it says, okay, now that I'm successful, I can click on this and I can see what that background agent is doing. And so it looks like it's got all the information. You might have saved it in a temp file. Yeah, here's the temp file, hmepisodes.json. Yeah, work through all remaining episodes. Do not stop early. So it's using the create fact tool. There are two ways to create a fact. It's call an action or literally create fact. I'm thinking that I want to limit the tool size once I get everything working. So I think I will limit it by saying you can't directly create facts. You must define an action first. But I'll see which way works out best. I'll see if that still has some value. So, okay, now we've got a whole bunch of create fact calls. All right, AI at team scale. Evaluating skills. The secret to great skills in MCP servers. Nice. Yeah, I don't know why it's searching for folders related to Factual, but these are actual projects that are in my project folder. Okay, so that's going through and creating all these facts. I'll let that one continue to run in the background. And Only 23 facts were created instead of 25. Hey, subagent, finish it up. Yeah, so this this run is probably going to give us some really good information about what it was able to use and accomplish. Is this report working? No, report's not working. Okay. Because that would be really valuable. But yeah, you can see this huge bar right here, the conversation. So that's yeah. I didn't type very many words, so that's got to be a lot of the a lot of the information that it gathered that it's loading back in. It would really be useful to see what that text looks like. But yeah.
We'll need to reboot to make that work, probably.
Yeah. Okay, list facts. 37 episodes recorded so far. Generate compact batch payloads for batches 2 through 8. Huh. Yeah, and I am really interested to learn if this is performance of Jinaga itself, or if there is, if the MCP is just doing a lot of work for each individual fact. So yeah, here's the tenant replicator again. Yeah, still just showing us the health pings. Yeah, one of the things that I would really like to hook up is observability tools. Then we could see a graph of all the facts that were created, all the tool calls. Yeah, this might have been an ambitious first test.
Yeah, but the result is not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing that just with instructions, it comes up with all that.
Yeah. This is truly what what I want to allow even the non-developer to do is just say, hey, I want to keep track of this, and here's the source of data. Go see what you can do, and then have it basically create a database for you on the fly. Okay, that's the database of all this information. The sorts of things that right now people would pop open Excel and start adding data to Excel, and then things get messy, and then you get multiple copies, and then it's hard to analyze that data because that's that's structured in one way, and you have to build pivot tables and all sorts of things in order to restructure it in different ways. So giving people the raw database, giving people the tool that can define a new application, and then a tool that can define pipelines in order to analyze that information. So in addition to the specifications, you also get access to cascade pipelines. So you can run the results of those specifications through a pipeline in order to produce results. So when I ask for a list of episodes, it's likely to run the specification through a very simple pipeline and then give me the table of the results. Especially if the data starts to get kind of complex in structure. So rate limit cooldown. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. Yep, there is a rate limiter built into the MCP. I have not tuned it yet, so I wanted to make sure that this was ready for production and yeah, I wanted people to test things out, but not to just go crazy. And yeah, so this Redis container in the stack is there to keep track of just at the moment, who has used how much of the resources. So how many API calls have you made in this window? So that's very time specific information, and so that information I didn't want to keep as a historical model. Your actual list of applications and the what did I call those? Um, yeah, uh, basically a group that you're a member of that owns applications. Those are historical facts in the control replicator. But yeah, not too much action on the control replicator because it's well, no, there is a lot of interesting credential rotation request. Yeah, I am kind of curious what's happening on this control replicator. But yeah, that's for the persistent information. Redis is for the at the moment information, including rate limits. And so, yep, I think it's YTDLP rate limited itself to fetch the information, and now excuse me, it's fighting the factual MCP rate limit to save it. So yeah, I'll tweak that rate limit so that you can do large batches, but then you have to have a cooldown after a batch, as opposed to this very fine-grained rate limit I've got in there right now.
And that rate limit must probably be adjustable, because you can go to YouTube, but you could also go elsewhere.
Yeah. What I want to do is I want to release this in a way that I can invite people to try it out. So I'll definitely want to rate limit how much information they can put in, get out, and how quickly, in order to protect my infrastructure and keep my costs down while I let them experiment. But then, yeah, also when I start selling it, then I'll have different plans. So if you're using it as an individual, this is the kind of rate that I would expect. And if you start to go above that, it's like, yeah, you really should have a team plan or an enterprise plan or something like that. So all of that still to be ironed out. So while it's working on that, show me the list of episodes recorded so far. And then I'll force that in there, which does interrupt some of its work. Yeah, but now it's running a query in Factual. So, rate limit exceeded. Yeah, definitely need to adjust that.
But that's a rate limit on the Factual server, on the NCP server.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so that is completely under my control. So, it decided to just write some Python to do it. Yeah, that's what that's what I really want. I want it to not have to work around things. So it should be able to write everything it needs in Factual. So that's one of the reasons for giving it access to the full Cascade pipeline syntax, so that it can answer a question and produce a table like this just by writing a specification and some cascade. But yeah, this one was the result of writing some Python.
Still missing 39 now.
Yeah. But yeah, then yeah, imagine as an end user, you say, oh, I want to create this list, and then now you've got this list. No matter where you go, you log back in, you can still access this information. But then you can now start to talk about what I want to do with this. When I have a new episode, I want to send an email to this mailing list talking about that episode. So you create an agent in any harness that you like. So it could be Microsoft Copilot. And so you've got the MCP server installed into Microsoft Copilot, and then Copilot can get the list. It can subscribe to a list. So this, these specifications will notify you when something has entered the specification. So you could set that up either as a poll, a scheduled poll in Microsoft Copilot, or have that if it's something that pings more frequently, have that as kind of a subscription, a watch, and then have it pull that information in, use a tool that's available in that harness, like to send an email through Outlook, and then once that email is sent, record another fact inside of the application to show you, yep, that email was sent. That way you don't send it again. And then from this harness, you can then see, hey, show me all of the emails I've sent. Show me the bounce rate, any replies. So all of the, you basically get to build that by talking to the model inside of your favorite harness. So that's what I'm going for. Okay, the subagent is still working. So trying to get through that rate limit. Okay, well let's ask one final question here. Tell me what problems you ran into with this task. So probably top of the list is going to be, hey, this is rate limited. But yeah, there's probably even more information that, so couldn't use the browser to fetch it, so I had to figure out YTDOP. Okay. Factual API rate limits, blocked bulk recording. Yep. Too many parallel approaches created duplicates. So interesting. Duplicate facts for the same episode. Okay. So, yeah, to solve this problem, I need to point it at my identity chapter in the book and say, use these strategies in order to record the natural key in the fact. So if it used a natural key, like every live stream has a YouTube ID, there should be just a fact that has YouTube ID as the only field, and then the title or all of these other things, when it was published, all these can be using the mutable property pattern, and that would save it from duplicates. So I interrupted it. Okay. So yeah, it's really just the rate limits that it ran into that were the big thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's easy. That's fixable.
That's really a nice way to generate an application. It's not a full application, but it does work.
Yeah.
And it creates the model, everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, it really reminds me of the Star Trek vision of, yeah, you need something done. You walk up to the computer, you walk up to LCARS, you walk up to the holodeck, and whatever the interface is, and you talk about the problem, and then it builds an application on the fly to help you with that specific problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's Star Trek.
A lot of the things in Star Trek are already part of our daily life.
Uh-huh.
Their communicator. Now we have our handphones,
Yeah.
which are so much more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teleportation is not yet there, but
Yeah.
otherwise I would sit next to you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be into teleportation because, at the quantum mechanical level, teleportation is destruction. And so, yeah, you'll see videos about teleportation is death or suicide or whatever. So, yeah, you have to destroy, because of the no cloning theorem, you have to destroy one in order to create the other. But
there will be certain risks involved.
Yeah.
But riding a car is also not without risk.
yeah, that's true.
And even planes from time to time they drop down. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it will come. I hope I still see it in my life. Teleportation.
Yeah. Well, I never expected to see this in my life, but yeah.
Yeah, it goes so fast now.
Mm-hmm.
The limit is unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Very good.
Great.
All right. So yeah, next week I should have a website where I can give you an invitation code. You can go there and
For the MCP server.
yeah, for the MCP server. So that's
Okay.
what I'm marching toward.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Love to
that's
see what other
gonna-
people do with this thing.
That's gonna help definitely. Okay. Just looking next week. So next week we are the 25th. Normally I will be there.
Excellent. I'm expecting to be there as well.
Okay. And meanwhile, I'm watching YouTube for your video for improving to a pair.
Excellent.
Okay. Michael, thanks you very much. See you next week then.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. See you then.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.